Hi everyone, my name is JT Pilot. Today we'll be making another video. This time we're doing a 1-front-scale model airport day at my Norfolk International Model Airport. And this is for March of 2024. So this series has finally returned to my YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I've done a Norfolk International Airport day. It's been a year because the last time I've done a Norfolk Airport day was in January of 2023. And over that time, Norfolk has actively expanded, and yeah, we've been seeing record amounts of passenger travel over to Norfolk International. So Norfolk's been booming, and yeah, Norfolk International's been booming. We have been seeing lots. We've seen a new airline come to Norfolk. We've seen lots of new routes, and we got lots of exciting routes from the likes of Breeze, Frontier, Spirit, Southwest. So we got a lot of new routes, and we got some new aircraft, etc. So yeah, so then Norfolk is also actively expanding, and actually expanding the airport itself, because they're building an on-site hotel and they're renovating the check-in area, and there may be a new terminal in the future as well. So Norfolk International is doing really well. So yeah, so I decided to bring this series back along with my random airport dates. A lot of you have requested these series return, so they are returning, and it'll be on this new mat here I've created for this series. So yes, I'm not going to be using the Jacksonville mat anymore for Norfolk, just because it's really hard for me to keep on, removing all the models off of Jacksonville, and I really want to keep Jacksonville a permanent setup. So instead, we got a custom mat for Norfolk and for the random model airport. So yes, and yeah, that's basically it for the intro section. So let's move on over to Terminal Bravo, or Concourse Bravo. Then we're moving on to Terminal Alpha. So let's get started. So starting with the first aircraft, so here we have Breeze and we're J195. We'll say this aircraft has arrived in from Vero Beach, and it'll be heading out to Tampa as Breeze Flight 129. So Breeze will be retiring the E190s and E195s from passenger services around the end of this year. So yes, I want to feature these models a little bit more in Norfolk before they're all retired. Or retired from passenger service. They'll be moving on over to charter services. But this Breeze and Air J195 will be heading out to Tampa. And moving on over to our next aircraft here, Breeze Airbus A220-300. So this lovely model has arrived in from Windsor Locks, Bradley International Airport as Breeze Flight 508, and he'll be continuing on to Los Angeles under the same flight number, so Breeze is kind of doing a Southwest thing there. And yes, the Breeze Airlines, they have expanded in Norfolk, added several new routes, and we have one new route coming up, which is San Diego. That'll be starting in the next few months, so that'll likely be the next airport update, so that's really exciting. And yeah, Breeze is flying all over the U.S. from Norfolk. It's really exciting. It's really exciting how we have Los Angeles now, Las Vegas. We have all sorts of destinations in Florida, so that's really great to see. And we got some destinations in the Northeast as well, which will feature more of those in the coming airport update. So that's really exciting. Speaking of what's really exciting, is Spirit Airlines. So I know a lot of you don't like Spirit Airlines, but they're a new airline at Norfolk. So Spirit Airlines has started service 1 year ago from when I'm recording this video. Back in March of 2023, they started services in Norfolk. So we have brand new airlines. So Spirit Airlines, where do they fly to? So they fly to a wide variety of destinations. They have Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, which is one of the newer services they have announced. And then they fly to Orlando and Tampa. So that's really exciting. And Boston is coming up in the future. They'll be starting that route in April. So we'll be seeing that route at Norfolk. So that's really exciting. And that'll be the next airport update as well. And Spirit Airlines mainly sends the A320s and A320neos to Norfolk. They sometimes send the A321neo or the A319, but it's mainly been A320, so that's what we represent in today's airport update. So this Spirit Airbus A320 has arrived in from Tampa at Spirit Flight 1086, and you'll be heading out to Fort Myers or Spirit Flight 1116. So those are really cool flights, and it's great. I'm grateful to have Spirit Airlines finally at my Norfolk International Airport. And alright, so moving on to our next airline, which is United Airlines over at Norfolk. So United hasn't really changed too much. They have the same routes, but they have been using all sorts of different aircraft. They've been using several regional jets and several mainline aircraft, and we have been seeing some exciting mainline aircraft like the 747 MAX 8 or MAX 9. But it's been inconsistent mainline over the past few months, so this is a normal United thing. And speaking of United, I have flown out of Norfolk recently. I went to Chicago O'Hare from Norfolk, and I arrived back from Washington Dulles on this 747-700, Continental Globe one. And then I flew out of Norfolk on a 747-800 to Chicago. So that's really exciting. Yes, I have flown out over here before, so this is accurate over here. So yeah, of the B gates over here. And before I continue on, so all the gates in this airport, they should be realistic for the airlines. If they're not, just let me know. And this airport date is based off of Sunday, March 24th, 2024, with the routes. And there's some routes from Saturday and Friday as well. This to diversify this airport date just a little bit more, so I can feature some exciting routes. So, nonetheless, this United 747-700, we'll say he'll be heading out to Chicago O'Hare or United Flight 2287. Moving on to our next aircraft here, United Boeing 747-900 ER on the Continental Globe livery. That's the lovely aircraft. We'll say this aircraft will be heading out to Newark or United Flight 339. So, yeah, Newark has been seeing a lot of mainline service, especially on the 747-900s in the MAX 9s for whatever reason. So, that's really exciting. So, and yes, and most of these flights are also based in the morning hours. So, just want to let you guys know about that. So, this United 747-900 will be heading out to Newark. And moving on to our next aircraft, this is United Airbus A319. We'll say he'll be heading out to Denver or United Flight 1714. So Denver's been mainly on the A319s. And another route I want to mention is Houston Intercontinental. That I do not have that route in this video just because I don't have a United A320, but United has been sending the A320s to Houston. So just wanted to mention that. And moving on to our next aircraft here, the United Embraer J175. We'll say this aircraft is heading out to Washington Dulles as United Flight 6031, and this is a Mesa Airlines flight. All right, moving on to some taxiing aircraft. So here the UPS Boeing 757-200 will be heading out to Roanoke or UPS Flight 1233. So, yes, I do not have a cargo ramp in this airport update, so we'll just be using the cargo aircraft on the taxiway. And yeah, so this UPS 757 will be heading out to Roanoke, and that is a Friday night flight. And UPS really doesn't fly to Norfolk over the weekend, so I really want to include a UPS service in this video, so to get to use this beautiful 757. Moving on to our next aircraft, here is Spirit Airbus A320neo. This aircraft will be heading out to Fort Lauderdale or Spirit Flight 2689. Alright, so moving on to some more aircraft over at Terminal Bravo. So we'll be moving on to the Delta Airlines section. So yeah, Delta Airlines, they haven't really changed too much over at Norfolk, but they have downgraded a few of their services onto regional jets, and mainly the CRJ900. That's all they've really been sending here for regional jets is the CRJ900. So I'm glad I purchased our Gemini one, so I can finally have two of them at Norfolk to make this section a little bit more realistic. So starting off our first aircraft here with Delta Connection CRJ-900. This is the 2021 release of the CRJ-900 from Gemini Jets. And this aircraft will be heading out to Detroit or Delta Flight 5117. So Detroit has been downgraded from the 717 to the CRJ-900, which is really disappointing in my opinion. I really love seeing the mainline service on that route, but it is a slower winter month, so Delta are probably just sending the CRJ-900 for that reason. And moving on to our next aircraft here, the lovely NG Models Delta 757-200 in the Marina Rivera title. So I know this is a Gen 1 757, but I don't have a Gen 2 757 in the collection, so this model will have to suffice. And Delta has mainly been sending these 757-200s on their Atlanta route, so this aircraft will be heading out to Atlanta, Hartsville, Jackson, or Delta Flight 2781. And the Atlanta service has mainly been on 757-200s in the Gen 2 configuration, but Delta has used the 747-900s from the X-Line Air ones in the past, along with their regular 747-900s, and Delta has occasionally used the A321 as well on that route. But since we're moving into the busier months, Delta has put the 757 for almost every flight to Atlanta, which is really exciting. It's really great to see this lovely aircraft. So once again, this Delta 757 will be heading out to Atlanta. And our final aircraft over at Terminal Bravo. Here we have a Delta Connection CRJ-900 pushing back, and this is a new Gemini Jets release. And we'll say this aircraft will be heading out to New York LaGuardia, or Delta Flight 5334. And this is an Endeavor flight, and the other Delta CRJ flight was also operated by Endeavor Air. So that's it for Terminal Bravo. All right, move on over to Concourse Alpha, and Concourse Alpha has changed a little bit. There's been some expansion over here, and one airline moved over to Terminal Alpha, and we also have a diversion over here, so that's really exciting. So let's start with the American Airlines section. So this American Eagle Bombardier CRJ-900 will be heading out to Philadelphia as AA Flight 5096. So yes, that's a pretty exciting flight. And America has mainly been using the CRJ-900 on that route, but they've also been using the CRJ-200s. So that's pretty unfortunate because the CRJ-200s are back over at American Eagle, and I don't have a CRJ-200 model, so hopefully I can get one so I can represent that flight. All right, move on to our next aircraft here, the American Eagle Embraer J175. And this aircraft will be heading out to New York LaGuardia as AA Flight 4295 and as a Republic Airlines flight. Moving on over to our next aircraft, and yes, you do see, your eyes do see it correctly here, an American Airbus A321 with sharklets. And And yes, this aircraft will be heading out to Charlotte, or as A Flight 29118. So, American has been sending the A321s on the 5 a.m. flight to Charlotte, which is really exciting. On the average Charlotte flights, they've been mainly using the A319s, A320s, and some CRJ900s. So, it's really great to see the American A321. They have been sitting a few with Sharklets, which is also great, but it's mainly been fenced up A321s with IE engines or the CFM engines, but they've been occasionally sending the Sharklet A321, so I had to feature that in today's airport update. So this American A321 will be heading out to Charlotte. And the final American aircraft over this section. Here is an American 747-800 in the One World livery. And this aircraft will be heading out to Dallas Fort Worth or American Flight 8 or American Flight 2274. And the One World livery did pay a visit recently to Norfolk as well, so I just had the feature in today's airport update. So that's it for the American section. Before we move on to the rest of Concourse Alpha, I do want to mention that the Norfolk International Airport officials are expanding Concourse Alpha, so there will be a new section over here, a little extension piece, and there will be around 4 more gates. That's really exciting. We'll have to see which airlines come over to this section. And let's get this taxiing aircraft over here. Here we have a Southwest 747-700 in the Canyon Blue livery. And this aircraft has arrived in from Orlando and will be continuing on to Baltimore as Southwest Flight 777. So Southwest Airlines still has a few Canyon Blue 747s left, and they actually did send one of them to Norfolk recently, so that's why I had that included in today's airport update. So this will likely be the last time you'll see a Canyon Blue 747 over at Norfolk, but I'm grateful to include Canyon Blue 747-700. And yeah, so it's sad that this livery will be retired and there will be only one more left on the MAX 8. So yeah, so once again, this Canyon Blue 747-700 will be heading out to Baltimore. What a colorful section on Norfolk over here. So we'll be moving on to the rest of Concourse Alpha. And yeah, so if you're wondering why Allegion's over here, it is because the Legion has moved on over the Concourse Alpha and they have taken one of the new A gates. So that's really exciting. And yeah, so this Allegiant Airbus A320 will be heading on to Jacksonville. So not much has really happened over at Allegiant. It's been pretty consistent services with Allegiant. So yeah, and we're not on the airport list for the 747 MAX, unfortunately. So they'll just be sending these A320s for the foreseeable future. So this Allegiant A320 will be heading out to Jacksonville, Florida. So not the Fictional airport, the actual Jacksonville. So that's really cool. That's why I had to feature that one. And here with the lovely NG Model Southwest Colorado 1 747-700. So this aircraft has also paid a visit to Norfolk recently. And this aircraft will say is riding from Nashville at Southwest Flight 3058. It'll be heading on to Dallas Love Field at Southwest Flight 4537. So yes, the Southwest right now in Norfolk, they've been flying to a wide variety of destinations, including Baltimore, Chicago Midway, and Orlando as the year-round destinations. And they have some seasonal destinations like Dallas Love Field, Denver, and St. Louis, which will be starting up in the summertime. So that's really exciting. You'll be seeing that route in the summertime. So they're finally bringing back that route. I remember them starting it while I was doing when I did the 4th Norfolk Airport date. So they started back in July 2020, even it went away for a few years, and now it's coming back. So that's really exciting, and grateful to have a St. Louis route. All right, moving on to our next aircraft. Here, the lovely Southwest Airlines 747-MAX 8. This aircraft has arrived in from Baltimore as Southwest Flight 2730, and you'll be continuing on to Denver as under the same flight number. So that's a really cool flight there. It's nice to see a MAX 8, Southwest MAX 8 over at Norfolk. And speaking of MAX 8s, here are our final aircraft in today's airport day here for Cayman Airways, but 747-MAX 8. Yes, I know Cayman Airlines doesn't fly to Norfolk, but this is our diversion flight. So yes, so this aircraft has arrived in from Georgetown, and he'll be heading out to New York John F. Kennedy. So yeah, so this aircraft had to divert on its way back to New York John F. Kennedy from Georgetown, I believe due to weather or something like that. So Cayman Airlines decided to divert to Norfolk around 11 o'clock at night, and they promptly went out around 1 a.m. back to New York John F. Kennedy. So yeah, so it's really cool to see those diversions. Norfolk has seen a wide variety of diversions over the past few years, especially from New York and Washington. So so we get more of them. I'll definitely feature them in the airport dates. But we've seen lots of exciting aircraft, including like the United 767-400 or the Air France 777-300 or this Cayman Airways 747-MAX 8. So this is a really cool diversion flight, and that's it for Concourse Alpha. And alrighty, folks, so that's conclude this Norfolk International Model Airport date. And this was for March of 2024, and this is a 9th airport date. So it's great to have Norfolk back to the YouTube channel lineup, and a lot of you have wanted me to bring this airport series, and it looks really great on this new mat. And this new setup over here I have for Norfolk and the Random Model Airport date. So yeah, so Norfolk is rapidly expanding. We have a lot of new routes, new airlines have been. We have we have a new terminal that will be built over there around in 2040s. It'll be terminal. Yeah, it should be Terminal Charlie. There'll be another terminal there. And lots of other exciting news is happening over at Norfolk. So they're, of course, adding on to Concourse Alpha. They're building an on-site hotel. They're bringing back the they're bringing back the they're bringing back the walkway. So that's really exciting. I can't think of it right now. Sorry. The people mover, whatever you want to call it. So they're bringing that back. And then they consolidated TSA to the center building, which would be over there. So that's another new development over at Norfolk. And yeah, so they're building an on-site hotel. They're consolidating TSA. They're bringing back the walkway, which I know a lot of people want that to come back, from what I've read, of course. It's other news over at Norfolk. So I've seen a lot of interviews with Norfolk officials, and they're hoping to bring in some international services over to Norfolk. So that's exciting. I've heard that they want to bring a Canadian service maybe from Air Canada or Flair, so that would be exciting. We could possibly see a new international service and some Caribbean services. And one thing I forgot to mention in today's video is that Frontier Airlines will be flying to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and that's the first Caribbean service Norfolk has ever seen. And yes, so that will be featured in the coming updates. I did not include Frontier in today's update just because they really haven't had any other changes, so I really want to include 2 Spirit models because Spirit is a new airline, so of course I had to feature them, so. Yeah, so Norfolk is expanding, and I can't wait to cover this airport over the future. And it's my home airport, so I'll be keeping a close eye of it. Of course, I'm a frequent flyer out of Norfolk, and maybe one day I'll be a frequent pilot out of Norfolk. So, yeah, so that's really, that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. So, yeah, so I'm glad I was able to return the series to my YouTube channel. I figured out the way to do it without disrupting Jacksonville. And yes, it's so much easier for me just to do this on a different map in Jacksonville, because on Jacksonville I have to clear out the models. It just takes a while. While this, I can just do it on my desk and have a little smaller Norfolk airport. And I really like the look of it. It looks really good. Tell me in the comments below what your thoughts about it. And if you do want to subscribe out to Norfolk, you can use the Google form in the description below. Yeah, so you can use a Google form. Your route must be realistic, though, because this is a realistic airport. It's not a fictional one like Jacksonville. So if you want a fictional one, just send it over to Jacksonville. But yeah, so nonetheless, that does conclude this video. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this hopefully you guys enjoyed this new Norfolk Airport date. And nonetheless, that does conclude this video. So have a wonderful day and have a wonderful weekend.